So, what if the government just handed you the money to start a business? I mean, sounds like a dream, right? Well, for a lot of people, a new tourism program promised exactly that. It was pitched as a chance for communities to build something of their own, all backed by public funds.
And we're not talking about a little bit of help here. The support was serious. We're talking subsidies of up to 70% for locals to start their own homestays. Now, that's a massive leg up. A real opportunity for entrepreneurship to pop up in places it might never have before.
And hey, this wasn't just some idea on paper. This thing had a track record. A previous phase of this exact program had already helped get 800 new homestays off the ground. That's 800 new small businesses, 800 families with a real stake in their local tourism economy.
But the ripple effect? Oh, it was even more impressive. Those 800 homestays created about 1,600 jobs. Real jobs with real wages flowing right back into the community. I mean, on the surface, this story is an absolute home run.
And they weren't stopping there. The vision was to go even bigger. The goal was to scale this thing up to 3,000 new homestay units in just a few years. The potential for growth felt absolutely limitless. But, and you knew there was a but coming, didn't you? What if that's not the whole story? Because here's the thing, any time a program uses public money, your money, my money, to create a private business opportunity, you gotta pause and ask a really crucial question. Behind all those big, exciting numbers, who is really benefiting from all this?
And this, right here, is the heart of it. Was this money a true lifeline for the households that needed it most, helping them build something for the first time? Or did it mostly go to families who were already doing okay? You know, the ones who already owned property, had a spare room, and had an easier time with all the paperwork.
Because let's be really clear, we're talking about our money. A subsidy is a collective investment. And the way the rules are written, they can either help reduce inequality or they can accidentally make it even worse. And that is why we have to dig deeper.
This brings us to a classic problem in public policy, a phenomenon that has a name: elite capture. It's the story of what can happen when really good intentions run smack into a far more complicated reality on the ground.
So the promise of any good subsidy, right, is to spread the wealth, to distribute opportunity a little more evenly. But the risk of elite capture is that it does the complete opposite. It actually consolidates that wealth among the people who are already better off.
So what exactly is elite capture? Well, think of it like this. It's when public resources, which are meant for everybody in a community, get siphoned off. They end up being monopolized by just a few people who already have the wealth, the right connections, or the know-how to work the system. And that effectively shuts everybody else out.
And here's the kicker. This doesn't have to be some kind of sinister corruption. It can happen because of really practical, everyday barriers. I mean, to get a homestay subsidy, you probably need to own property already, right? You might need the right social connections just to hear about the program in the first place. You definitely need the time and skills to deal with complicated forms. And you also need the money to get your home ready for official inspections. Each one of those steps can unintentionally act like a filter that only the well-off can get through.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? How do we make sure these programs actually hit their target? Well, it all comes down to one really important word: governance. And more specifically, a radical commitment to transparency. This quote absolutely nails it. It's so easy to throw around feel-good words like community participation or empowerment. But unless the public can actually see the data, see who's getting the money and why, those words are just slogans. They have no real power.
So what does real transparency look like? Well, it's not as complex as you might think. It means publishing the lists of who got the subsidy. It means showing us how the money was spread out across different districts. It means, and this is a big one, publishing the reasons why applications were rejected so everyone can see if the rules are actually fair. And finally, there has to be a simple, clear way for people to appeal or file a complaint.
So, we've got the problem and we have a potential solution. But how can we as citizens actually check if a program is working the way it's supposed to? Well, for that, you need a toolkit. And here it is, a simple 3-step checklist. First, demand the data we just talked about. Ask for the lists, the subsidy amounts, the reasons for rejection. Second, check the real-world impact. Are those 1,600 jobs actually going to local people? Are the wages fair? And third, verify the claims. If the program says it's helping women-led households, for example, let's see the proof.
So we end up right back where we started.
Subsidies can be a powerful tool for good, but only if they're designed and watched over with fairness in mind. The promise is real, but so is the danger of getting it wrong. And making sure that promise is fulfilled isn't just a job for the government, it's a responsibility we all share. So the final question isn't just who's responsible for tracking the money, but what are we going to do to hold them accountable?